Okay, we've got day 169. Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a Year. We've got Proverbs 27, 28, and 29. And these are jamming. I mean, the Proverbs speak for themselves. So I'm just going to read. Boast not thyself tomorrow. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what the day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thy own mouth, a stranger, and not thy own lips. A stone is heavy, and he that sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth and honeycomb. The full soul loatheth a honeycomb, but to the hungry every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. You know, I think like back to Proverbs 12, where we're supposed to be able to take correction. You know, we've got to be able to take correction. A bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Thine own friend, thy father's friend, forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity, for the better is a neighbor that is near than the brother that is afar off. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproach me. A prudent man foreseeth evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Take his garment that is surely for a stranger, and take the pledge for him that is a strange woman, for a strange woman. He that blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. The continual dropping in a very rainy day and the contentious woman are alike. Whoever hideth her hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which bewray itself. Iron sharpeth iron, so a man sharpeth the countenance of his friend. Who keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. Whosoever keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so that he waiteth on his master shall be honored. As water in the face answereth to the face, so the heart of a man to man. Hell hath no destruction, never full, so the eyes of a man are never satisfied. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of a man are never satisfied. Wow. Covetousness. So dangerous. The finding pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in the mortar among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Be thou diligent to know that the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. For riches are not forever, doth not the crown endure to every generation? That's a question. No, because we know right after Hezekiah they get what? Manasseh. Bad news. The hay appeareth, and tender grass showeth itself, and the herbs of the mountain are gathered. Lambs are for thy clothing, goats are the price of the field. Milk enough for thy food, and for thy food of thy household, and for the maintenance of thy maidens. 28. Proverbs 28. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgressions of a land, many are the princes thereof, but a man of understanding hath knowledge, hath the state thereof, and thereof shall be prolonged. Hold on. Verse 2, the transgression of the land are many, are princes thereof. For the transgression of the land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. If you have good kings, the state of the land will be prolonged. The poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain, which leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keepeth the law contend with them. That's right. We're supposed to keep those commandments, folks. Keep the 10 Commandments. Get in the gate. Answer the call. Evil men understand not judgment. Don't judge me. But they that seek Jehovah understand all things. What are we just talking about? We're just talking about that knowledge, right? And the knowledge of the state thereof shall be prolonged. The knowledge of God, better than burnt offerings. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he in his perverse ways, though he be rich. Though he be rich. Whoever keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is the companion of the riotous men shall shameth his father. Whoever keepeth the law is a wise son. We're talking about the commandments here, folks. Loving thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy soul. And keeping his commandments is that. And then you teach them diligently to your children, so whoever keepeth the law is a wise son. But he that companion of the righteous man shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increases substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. If you turn away your ear from hearing the Holy Covenant, the 10 Commandments, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Whoever causes the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in his possession. A rich man is wise in his own conceits. But the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. When the righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. When the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covers his sins shall not prosper. Whomever confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Most people don't even know what sin is, folks. They don't know that we're not to learn the way of the heathen and do these abominable customs on the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Okay? That's Christmas and Easter, which are like the epicenter of the church today. And it's from wicked abominations. And they have no idea. And they very few of them take correction. So they covereth them their sins, and they shall not prosper. Jeremiah says to him, says, when Jeremiah corrects them, what did they say back then? Oh, we're good to go with these abominations. Happy is the man that feareth always, But he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. And what happens when you correct them? They harden their heart, don't they? Mm. As a roaring lion, as a raging bear, so is the wicked ruler over the poor people. Man, oh man. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Where does it say that idolatry is covetousness? What's going on, JSCR? Yeah, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Okay, prolonging your days is life everlasting. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Whoever walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that follow after vain persons shall have poverty enough. Wow, wow, wow. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that a man will transgress. For a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich has an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterward shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. Okay? Do you know when Yeshua says, love your brother as yourself? He's quoting Leviticus 19, verse 18. Verse 17 says, if you hate your brother, if you do not rebuke his sin and let the sin suffer upon him. Then we're all called to watch and warn people. We're all called to watch and warn people in Matthew 24 and in Mark 13, the same account, same story. We're all called to watch. What I said to one, I say to all, watch. When you go to watching, the blood of them is on your hands if you do not rebuke their sin and warn them. Okay? The calling of the watchman is described in Ezekiel 3, Ezekiel 2, Ezekiel 3, and Ezekiel 33. And it's other places too. It's throughout Jeremiah, it's throughout Isaiah. He that rebuketh a man afterward shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. What's all Sunday? Preparing you to be a better person in this world, flattering you with the tongue. They say, judge not. What's Yeshua say? Yeshua says, take that log out of your eye so you're not a hypocrite. So you can see rightly, to judge righteously. Whoever robbeth his father or his mother saith, it is no transgression. The same as a companion of a destroyer. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that shall put his trust in Jehovah shall be made fat. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. When I say Christmas and Easter, the winter solstice celebration, the roots of the spring equinox celebration is a pagan abomination. People say, he knows my heart. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. But whoever walketh wisely, idolatry is the sin unto death, shall be delivered. Idolatry being the sin unto death. Children, stay away from idolatry. That's the last verse in 1 John 5. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes have many a curse. Romans 1, around verse 18. It's that idolatry that starts the ball rolling. Starts the ball rolling. The idolatry. Then God gives them over. It's judgment right there. God giving them over to a debased mind. It's judgment. The judgment is upon us now. When the wicked rise, the men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Proverb 29, he that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and them without remedy. He being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Romans 13. Romans 13. It's about not speaking bad about government, because the government people are put above us by Jehovah to render forth judgment on the wicked. And the righteous don't worry about it, whatever. I'm not worried about what they're doing out there. Voting. Crazy. I spent years bickering back and forth about politics. What a waste of frickin' time, when I should have been writing this book. I should have been in this book. And I'm bickering back and forth about politics. Well, none of that bullshit matters. It's judgment. You don't think we're being judged now? Read Romans 1. Because of that idolatry, they get turned over to debased mind. Because of this wickedness, we don't even know what sin is. Learn not the way of the heathen. Deuteronomy 12, verse 30. Do not worship God, Jehovah, as the heathen worship their gods. Do not do it. It's the golden calf. And it is the centerpiece of the modern church. It's how we bring them in. When I rebuked our pastor about what are we doing with this? What are we doing with it? They finally did away with their trunk or treat. They finally stopped doing Halloween. Okay, so that pricked their heart enough. When I bring up the Christmas, oh yeah, we know their roots are pagan. Yeah, but it's how we bring the people in. You bring them in with compromise? You bring them in with an abomination? Man. Whosoever loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. Harlots. That's spiritual adultery. When you're letting those freaking evil spirits in. The Santa Claus. The Easter Bunny. The king's judgment established the land, but he that receiveth his gifts overthroweth. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous doth sing and rejoice. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor. That's the poor in spirit, the poor in heart, that heareth and tremble at his word. That's what he's looking for. That's the poor people. But the wicked regardeth not to know it. The wicked regardeth not to know it. The scornful men bring a city into a snare, but the wise man turn away wrath. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Man, oh man. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. Jehovah lightened both of their eyes. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. Jehovah lighteneth both their eyes. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. Okay, if the king judgeth the poor, okay, but if the king starts locking up those with the poor and contrite spirit, what does David say when he talks about having a poor and contrite spirit in Psalm 51? I will teach the transgressors. He was on his face in repentance because he did such wicked things. I mean, such wicked things. He's on his face, poor in spirit, trembling at his word. I will teach the transgressors. That means he was going to use his experience of how he transgressed, and he was going to take forth righteousness. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but the child left to himself bring his mother to shame. We're about ready to get the rod and the reproof. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increase, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give thee delight into thy soul. Is that Revelation 3? I think it's 3 verse 19. Where he says, I loveth who I chasten. This is in red letters. I loveth who I chasteneth. Who he chastises is who he loves. There is no vision in the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Okay, he that keepeth the commandments is happy as he. A servant will not be corrected by words. Though he understandeth, he will not answer. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There is more hope than a fool of him. Sometimes you got to bite your tongue. Sometimes you just got to bite your tongue. He that is delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him as his son in the length. Okay. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at length. Okay, go back to Deuteronomy 6. Okay, 1 through 9. You'll have a long life. You'll have life everlasting if you teach your children the commandments. To be able to teach the children the commandments, which is loving God and with all your heart, mind, and soul, you have to be obeying the commandments, or you're a hypocrite. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man abound in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. A man's pride shall bring him low. Pride. Pride, 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 pride. But the honor shall humble his spirit. Whosoever is a partner with a thief hateth his own soul, and heareth cursing, and bewrayeth it not. The fear of man bringeth a snare. The fear of man bringeth the snare. But whoever putteth his trust in Jehovah shall be safe. How many times Have I drawn back from correcting somebody or giving somebody the word because I was worried of what they thought? The fear of men bringeth a snare. It's a snare, folks. If you don't share it, you're in that snare. Putteth his trust in Jehovah shall be safe. Many seek rulers' favor, but every man's judgment cometh from Jehovah. An unjust man is abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. He is that is upright, okay? When I tell somebody they're in error, their doctrine is in error. Here's the scriptures. Your doctrine is in error. It's not fun. It's not fun to do that at all. Okay? They are going to place a lamp. They are going to place a basket over your lamp when you do that. Most cases. Very few people will take the rebuke, read the scriptures, and change. That's what it says. Their hearts are hardened, man. But we're supposed to do that. That's why they hateth him before they hateth us. They hateth Yeshua because he came a rebuking. His ministry, you know who he loved? He loved those Pharisees that he was rebuking. He loved them. He was loving them when he called them a pit of vipers. When he dumped the tables over and he started whipping them, he was loving them. Trying to get them to change. Trying to get them to hearken. Get their attention. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way, what's the way? The way is following the 10 Commandments. God's law is an abomination to the wicked. They will, when you're the ox treading out the grain, giving the word, they will muzzle you. When you go shining your light, they flee. They will put a basket over your lamp. Keep on trucking, folks. Keep on trucking. Time is getting short. Praise Yah. Learn the parable of the fig tree if you learn the parable of the fig tree. In red letters, it tells you to. Praise Yah.